Welcome, everybody, once again to the Backcast, our video game podcast thingy where we talk about stuff and games and occasionally other things.
I mean, stuff and games.
And then and other things.
Doesn't get better than that.
Right? I mean, I like to think we got all our bases covered in that. So I'm joined by Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Dan.
I'm Dan. As evidenced
Hey,
by Joe by calling me Dan. Yeah, and if
Welcome to the Backcast, Dan.
If you're listening to this, you probably know that. Yeah, and so we're just kind of just shoot the breeze. That's what this one is. This is the more natural. We're not distracted by us playing.
Yeah, we're not actually playing, as I'm sure if you have been listening already, you know that that's how this goes.
Right, and so so we're gonna get into some kind of, what do you call it, clerical, kind of the business stuff.
Get the business stuff out of the way, as you probably noticed.
Recount last week's minutes.
Because we kind of talked about trying to up our production schedule a bit. It just ended up not being tenable. We don't really have the infrastructure to get that much out, and
people don't have the infrastructure to watch that much content, it turns out.
Generally speaking, I would imagine that's the case.
Watching the numbers,
ended up being more than I expected, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we kind of kept an eye on the numbers, seeing the rate at, and it's still, people were still watching at the same rate.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, here's a video that no one watches for a couple of days, and there people started watching it. There
honestly,
it is.
That wasn't really the problem. Mostly it took a ton of time.
That too, it was stressful.
Production, and I just didn't have time to kick all that out.
And you're still learning a lot as well.
That's the other part of it too. Because I was on such a heavy grind, I didn't have a lot of time to put additional polish. I kind of was stuck at kind of as much as I had already learned, and was just doing that over and over.
You're a bit of a perfectionist as well.
Definitely, and not having things kind of up to a certain minimum polish isn't good enough,
right?
in my book. So rather than putting out mediocre content in my eyes, I'd rather spend a little bit more time on each video, and we do the podcast and maybe a couple videos a week, kind of like our old schedule. 3 videos a week, one of the podcast, and then 2 game.
We're
videos.
We're still looking at other things that maybe
that may get we're
maybe features every now and then.
Yeah, we're all learning here, so it's kind of we're kind of flexible. When it comes to that. We'll figure out what ends up working best for us and what's smoothest and keeps it fun and light and.
Yeah, we're still
going strong.
I still jokingly say it's all pre-alpha for us at this point. We're still trying to figure out, or we're into alpha.
Yeah, we're into alpha.
We're into alpha. We're not quite beta.
We might be ready for beta next year.
Yeah, early next year.
Early next year, we'll get into beta.
Yeah, we'll do a public beta and
free weekend, free backlog weekend.
If you pre-order something, you'll get extra time. Or I'm making myself sad. I'm making myself so sad. Oh man!
Check out our merch table. No, we have no merch.
No.
You will not find us there. But yeah, got some project stuff, working on some stuff for our mixer and stuff for the studio as well, like a little table for everything to sit on in a more convenient ergonomic way. Yeah. Also working on some new channel art as well. That'll be coming up here in the next probably few weeks. Still in a very pre-alpha on that as well.
We didn't want to lose the original feel, so we're doing some practical design work as well as some CG stuff, but we're going to mix them in a way that makes it feel believable.
It'll be fun.
We're not going to go full George Lucas. We're going to go just CG out of it.
Jeez. No, that's a poor comparison.
Yeah, dude. But kind of is. Anyhow,
neither of us are George Lucas, and neither of us have created iconic sci-fi worlds.
I don't think either of us want to be George Lucas, though. Just kind of the end result.
I mean, I would take the hate that guy gets for the money he's got at this point.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
And I assume I would handle it better than he did, but
you're being able to say, no, you guys are right. That was actually kind of garbage.
But I mean, as he tears those flannel shirts off of that roll in his bedroom, I mean, that's not a bad life.
No, I mean, I could do flannel.
Yeah,
I could do flannel. I would have to move. I wouldn't want to move to California though.
And big fatty neck waddle going on.
Nah. Ooh, actually no.
Pass on
the neck waddle.
Hard pass on the George Lucas.
Was it Peter Jackson's gotten all tubby as well, hadn't he?
I thought he got real skinny. He was real fat.
Is that
when he did Lord of the Rings, but then he got he did a Jonah Hill and got real skinny. Did he do the full circle Jonah Hill and got fat again so he'd be popular?
So if I would go the Peter Jackson route if I get to be skinny at the
end. Whichever one's skinny at the end, let's go that way.
Yeah. So so we're still figuring stuff out. I mean, suggestions in the comments. We do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and thanks everybody who was commenting. That's it's helpful, and we're trying to implement as much stuff as we can.
And
like we said, it's a learning process. So like if we don't immediately implement a suggestion you have, like give us a little time. We're trying to figure out where we can apply everything and get it to work.
And if you take kind of the content we put out in a week, and during that full schedule, yeah, we're talking at least that much about kind of what we think and where to go. And we spend a lot of our free time is spent conversing back and forth on
trying to figure out how to handle pre-production in more efficient ways,
and how to be better.
And streamline, and how to be better at doing this.
We want to be better at this. But that said, let's kind of get into the
business is boring. Let's talk about video games.
Yeah. So, Destiny 2, the new X-Back, the Curse of Osiris launched,
which I'm sorry to say I have yet to actually purchase.
Are you really sorry to say that?
I've actually been really busy, but we'll get to that. It's been a time thing for the most part. That I haven't picked it up, but I mean, I enjoy Destiny 2. I was still ready to keep raiding when most of the other raid team guys were like, no, we're done.
And I still enjoy it.
And I think most of the raid team was still ready to raid, but like since we had lost enough of a critical
mass.
I mean, critical mass is hard. I mean, it's 6 people.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
You lose 1 or 2 regular people, and it's kind of like, oh well.
Right. And I'm gonna throw it here because I think it's too good to not to discuss.
Okay.
But before we were just chatting around, and I compared Destiny 2 to Nickelback.
Well, I don't want to talk about this.
I think Destiny 2 is the Nickelback of video games in that it's hugely commercially popular, but a lot of people don't like it, and we spent a while going back and forth. And
I think the big difference is I like Destiny 2.
Yeah,
I don't like.
I was gonna say
don't like Nickelback.
The conclusion I came to is that
that's the crux of this.
Is that Joe doesn't like being compared to Nickelback, even if it is allegorically a cross. He doesn't want to be that guy. But here's the thing: is I'm in that boat with you. I'm playing more Destiny than you because I actually played the Curse of Osiris.
Yes.
Stuff. And hey, guess what? It's more Destiny. They
up the power level, right? There's a new raid.
That's going out live as we're recording this. This is
which is cool.
Is happening, but it's not really a new raid.
So by the time we're done recording this, the world first will be done.
Probably. I don't want to call it a new raid. They call it a new layer, as in Dragon's Lair. But it's in the same place. And I bet you the end boss is the same. I'm willing to. It just feels that way.
Yeah, and I think that rubbed people the wrong way in that they didn't really tell you. We were used to very different raid settings in Destiny. They changed it up quite a bit in Destiny 1. Each raid was in a very different location and had a very different enemy set. This sounds like it's just hey, guess what? There's this other room off to the side that you didn't see before, and guess what? Now it's open, and it's also a new raid.
Remember the underbelly that nobody really liked?
Yes.
That's where the raid is. It's now you have to go in. Now you have to.
Now you have to.
And it just. Some of our most dedicated raid team members were a little bit salty about that. That's all I'll say on that.
Maybe a little salt, little
salt, and I include myself because
I don't know.
We were exploring.
I will reserve judgment if they can do enough mechanically to change it up a little bit. If it's really if it has I don't know. This is all speculation.
They're not going to change it up too much.
It's not going to be too much, but I'd like to see something new.
Right, and I guess all that matters. All that we need to really bring to the table on this one, because we've talked at length about Destiny.
Yeah, I'm sure people are tired.
Yeah, so just the difference being that they've added kind of a half circle room where a single public event can happen. That's the world. That's the new location
on Mercury.
And then you go into a portal that's supposed to be shifting. Let's say Diablo Rift but the platforms spawn the same way, and it's always the same. And you go to the end, and the thing at the end changes.
It's not procedural enough.
No. I mean, if you're going to do that, do that. It's just and
that's what we'd like. I mean, honestly, I wish more games would emulate that Diablo style of
but let's be
replayable content.
Let's call it what it is. We are kind of loot whores and love that Diablo style. That's
absolutely
that's our game.
I mean and if people don't know that yet, get used to it.
Guess what?
Get used to it.
The games that draw us back in are Diablo style
farmers and
and getting more powerful than the world itself, which Destiny still doesn't even do that great at. Making you more powerful than the world.
You have to be max light to even feel remotely
to
more
feel
powerful.
Slightly better.
Yeah. And it's only an incremental
It is, and like a level 1 enemy can still kill you relatively quickly if you don't do anything. That's the thing. It's just your ability to kill it is theoretically stronger, and your abilities anyway. Yeah. So they do kind of this plot through time and space, but it's running this exact same mission over and over and over again.
That's always disappointing.
About 4 or 5 times. It just that's not strictly speaking true, but like I'm trying to now remember what happened in the story, and every time you're in Mercury, you do the exact same thing.
So you already know, like, so it's like it's what it is, content blindness.
Yeah,
you're like I don't even know what I've been doing. I've done this so many times.
I've been running.
I don't know what's happening.
I've been running the Infinite Forest.
There you go.
That's what you're doing. Is you run in the Infinite Forest, but the Infinite Forest is the same. There's nothing. It feels infinite because it's all the same, and you're like, I'm here again. It's not that the forest is infinite. It's just you just keep seeing the same trees over and over again, and it messes with you.
Yeah,
I guess I don't even know how to describe it properly. It's just disappointing.
Well, I mean, at least
I'm not
Bungie,
mad.
At least,
I'm just
at least
disappointed.
Bungie had that like slight kind of a come to like an easy like we got to come to Jesus kind of cop to like, oh yeah, we made some mistakes and we need to really like be more transparent. I mean, it's a start. It's a start. It's baby steps.
Well, now we see it's okay. Step 1, recognize a problem.
Yeah.
Step 2, do something.
Yeah.
We have yet to see step 2.
It's true.
I'm not saying that they're not, but we'll see.
They did put out that huge like list of essentially patch notes of things that are coming.
Right, but here's
over the next month or two.
And I'll tell you that looked good, except for the part where they're like, "Yes, we were doing this. You caught us being naughty, so we're actually going to err on the side of screw you, and we'll fix that later."
Yeah, and some of that was like, well, we don't know when we can fit this into the game, but it's coming. Don't worry. It's
coming. Sure it is.
But yeah, and that's not really like they're fixing some of the like quality of life stuff and like having just excess currency.
But the fact that they nerfed
and being able to get legend or exotics that you don't already have, that kind of a thing.
My big complaint was the okay, so we see that you're having a problem with the thing you get for not real money that you can buy for real money. We have a problem balancing that, so we're actually going to make it harder to get for a while and eventually fix it.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's my... like, they're like...
That was the knee-jerk thing from the getting caught with the XP thing. I was talking more about the patch note.
Right, that was in the patch note
It was in there in a more detailed fashion.
And that's where they said...
They immediately did that.
Right.
But
their explanation was...
They pulled out the XP crunching and just doubled the XP that it took to get to those...
Right, and said,
those rewards.
And said, we'll fix that later because we know this sucks, but, whatever. Was basically...
They're like... Cool, like go ahead and get this however you want. Like we're just gonna make it a little bit, maybe possibly longer, because because now you're gonna be getting that fast XP from farming public events, and you're able to farm it without that getting squished.
And
so,
but
I wonder what time to Engram really is.
They admitted that will still be longer. Both of those will be longer than they intended, and that's just you're gonna have to deal with it. Here, let me tell you what.
Do your first 3 still have that accelerated?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Also,
those are the only ones I cared about. I was never farming for that, but it was kind of nice to get those first few in a very quick succession.
I very rarely did that as well. And every time you level up, they've added 5 levels. Every time you hit a new level in this, you get a bright Engram.
Oh,
so you get 5. Well, you actually get 6 for completing.
So they're still just raining them.
Kind of. Here's the thing that actually
it's just the like when you've done all your dailies and your weeklies, like it's slower to get to that point. If you're willing to just sit in Destiny and farm random stuff,
well, it
takes a little longer than it used to.
If you're playing the Curse of Osiris, you're going to be grinding. Because
I play loot games to grind.
But let me get can I get into the details of this one? It's gonna hurt a little bit. It's gonna hurt.
Oh, is it?
So there's you beat the main story, and then there's a quest giver that's like, oh hey, there's all these cool like legendary guns you can get. They don't explicitly tell you, but there's you have a quest to solve verses, and you solve verses by feeding a blue radio lariat like item into the quest item. Now you get a blue by combining 10 greens. Okay?
Okay. This is all a little over... I mean, conceptually, sure, I understand.
Okay, but and I should say that there's 10 of these guns you can get. Maybe 11. We don't know about 11 yet. But you get them from early reports is about it takes about 2 public events to get one.
Oh, okay.
So... Right now, you're able to get to the first gun, which you have to do as a starter quest. You have to do 20 public events on Mercury. There's only one.
Oh,
and it spawns every couple minutes. And then
I mean, at least it spawns fast.
No. I mean, sorry. I mean, it's not as regular as all the other ones are. As it seems, it's like it's not
weird. Oh, so is this like an artificial? Like, hey, we're gonna make this like.
This is what you're doing now?
We're going to stretch this out, this game concept.
It feels that way.
Okay.
Like, I haven't actually even got that deep into it. I was just reading about it. I'm like, what do I even do for this? And I went, wait, no.
I mean, honestly, the other like quest guns that were in Destiny 2's first patch, like vanilla Destiny 2,
yeah.
most of them were not that exciting, and we ended up not needing any of them during the raid.
Yeah.
So,
and I think we're all using the raid guns now because we prefer those.
Well, right, and as you should. Like, I don't think you'd want, even though the other ones are exotic, and like the Meta multi-tool is a cool scout rifle. Like, it's not one that you're willing to give up that slot.
Right. Merciless.
Merciless was just really powerful. So
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. But it gives you something to keep doing, but it never felt super necessary.
But here's the thing: is grinding public events is not engaging at all.
Oh no, it's definitely
the only thing I can think of that's less engaging than that is probably talking about doing public events nonstop.
It's also completely optional. Like so,
but I mean, at some point, I get that argument, but that argument is also, hey, you're playing a video game; it's all completely optional.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, but
I mean, if you don't have fun doing a thing, why would you like keep doing it?
But of all the things in Destiny that they're going to make you do repeatedly,
public events,
that's
your line.
Well,
screw you, public events.
Well, think about it. If it takes, and I don't know if it scales, if it requires more items or anything like that. So for 10 guns, you have to run 200 public events.
I mean, but
in one place. And and we're you and I are both a hardcore type. That means like, okay, for the next 12 hours, I'm just sitting in here running these public events.
I'm just gonna run public events because
on this planet, this one place that's about.
I don't know. I once I get it and get in there and like understand what we're talking about.
You have a better opinion.
I might have more of an opinion on it. It really depends on. Like,
it's not great.
What rewards I'd be getting out of it, and if that's interesting enough to warrant the extra time spent.
Right, and here's the thing: is that where I'm at right now, it's probably not going to be worth the extra time spent. I'm probably just going to be like, all right, well, let's get into the new raid.
Yeah, get into the raid, and we'll have the better guns anyway. Like,
yeah, it's
I mean, because the real chase in Destiny is not those exotics, but it's like
those aren't exotics; they're legendaries. So you can have
they're just legendaries.
But they can be infused. Well, because they realize that if all you give is exotics, people can only use one exotic gun, which is a dumb rule in itself. Because that means that
you imagine how OP we'd be with like multiple, like every slot exotic.
Oh man, rebalance them.
Next level. Wait for that coming in Destiny 3.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is at the rate we're going, I expect them to pull more features out for Destiny 3.
No doubt.
Like, remember when the game was this? Yeah, it's not that anymore. But again, sorry, I'm being overly cynical right now.
Yeah, Dan,
you've hit my
more optimistic.
You've hit my cynical bone. Well, we're gonna have to change topics then.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, what about other?
Well, do you want to talk very briefly about Freeblade?
Oh yeah, I can talk about it. I know I said I was playing that game. I had a lot of fun with it. I got good probably 10, 15 hours out of it actually, all said and done.
Cool.
But it is very free to play, and that always takes its toll. It does not have it's got a lot in it that if you're into that kind of a grind, you could play that game for hours upon hours. I only made it to, I think, level 12 or 13.
Do you even know what cap is?
I know that they have brackets for like multiplayer type stuff at like 50, up to 50 that I saw.
Dang, okay.
You actually level up fairly quickly if you're playing that game even somewhat regularly. And that does unlock a lot of like the in-game currency, and you end up getting quite a bit of that if you do play it a lot. But I have fallen off. I've kind of hit the point where it's like, hey, well, now we have unlocked additional missions on top of the missions, like additional objectives in the missions you've already been doing. And
I did get to that. I played enough to get like, oh, hey, go back and kill more dudes. I'm like,
or speed kill this level, or kill the high value targets, or kill the supply drops, things like that. And those were fine. But I ended up hitting a wall where I couldn't figure out why. I was killing like all the high value targets, and I would never get like the 3 stars on the mission. So I never understood and
what you were missing.
I couldn't tell what was going on. I wasn't taking a ton of damage. I was doing it all very quickly, and it never would give me that full like 3rd star. And I was just like, oh, why? Like, I don't understand. And I kept playing it, trying to get it because I am a perfectionist and wanted to get 3 stars on all levels. And some of it is gated behind the number of those medals that you have. So like you have certain level unlocks that happen once
there's
you
a point
so
where you have to
medals.
go back and redo it. Yeah.
And I kind of hit that, and I was like, this just doesn't make sense. They don't really, they're not servicing what I'm doing wrong and like what's making it so I'm not getting the whole thing. So I kind of just like fell off very quickly. Fell off. I still do jump in and get like free supply boxes that they have you drop every so often, because if I pick up another legendary and then I can go in there at like a considerably higher power level, maybe tear up a few more levels, I will. But I'm definitely not as jumping into that at every like free moment as I was last time.
Right. Well, yeah. Basically, you're just checking.
I'm kind of
boxes.
out. Yeah, I'm just checking my loot boxes when the free ones come in, and that's about it. Kind of leaving it. It's cool. There's a lot of customization for your mech that you're building. And the forging system in it's pretty cool. It's a
neat idea.
It's a neat idea.
It's a shame it's a free to play.
It's a shame that they have gone. It's a little greedy on the free to play. So that ramp,
that's where the money is.
Pretty slow. Yeah, everybody loves that free to play model.
Right.
Some people do it way better than others. This one, it's on the other side.
Right.
On the other end of the spectrum. It's a little lousy, but kind of fun, especially if you're into Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, I guess I like I said, I just peeked my head in and went, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not super deep. It is kind of cool with the voice acting and everything that's done in it. I enjoyed that quite a bit, and like has a little bit of lore on it on top of it.
Enough for you to kind of start learning a little bit and get contextualized.
Yeah, a little contextualizing for it, which was really nice actually. I was actually pleasantly surprised on the story part of it that does exist in there.
Unfortunately, it's the Dark Angels, which are like the emo Marines.
Yeah, emo Marines, a bunch of pansies.
Right.
But yeah, and I'll poke my head in every so often. I'm sure I have not uninstalled it yet.
That's the real test. That's when you're really out.
Yeah, when I'm really out, it's a huge app, sadly, and it's like eating up all of the data on my phone
and your battery
and my battery. Well. Actually,
when you were playing it,
when I was playing, yes, but it actually, as just being on the phone, has not been a battery drain like other apps that I've played.
It did annoy me that like I tried to find a way to turn off notifications because it was like texting me at work being like, you should play some more. I'm like, okay, that's it. You're uninstalled. That's why I uninstalled it. It was just like, no.
I'm sure you could turn off notifications on that.
I thought I had, but I mean,
it was still pushing.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go and say it was pushing, even though I said it. I thought I had. So
I like to two-factor that. I turn it off in the app itself, and then I go into the system app settings, and say you can shut it down, push notifications from the system settings. So
I'm learning all sorts of stuff here.
It's magical.
Fantastic.
Two-factor notification denial.
There you are.
Like, be safe, people.
It's like having the lock and then the bolt.
Yeah. And then I get a text that asks like, does this app have permission to launch and use your phone? And then I just have to click yes.
Yeah.
No. That's not real.
No, that's not real.
It's a lot of hassle if I actually had full two-factor authentication for running apps on the same device that I had them installed.
I'll say this: that the thing I was like that I really didn't like. It's like, hey, this app wants to know who you are. I was like, that's too bad.
Right? Oh man, some of those permissions are a bit much.
You're like, wait.
I'm lazy though, and I just say yes, go ahead. I don't care.
It's one of the things where I'm like,
take my data.
It's like, but I don't. I've been
hacked,
to know
I'm
that.
sure at this point.
Well, hacked not so much, but your data's probably out there, and it's determined to be worthless.
I mean, I've had like credit card information like stolen on a number of occasions. I'm sure my data is like in some system somewhere.
Oh yeah,
the government, the Big Brother is watching.
Right, I heard somebody say basically like you need to get over the fact that your social security number is probably public information at this point.
Oh my gosh, and how much like it's used and people are still real cagey about it.
And the people who and the things that ask for it that have no business to.
Really, yeah.
Like, can I get your social? No, you cannot.
Yeah. I mean, having worked in a sales for services, where they actually are doing like credit checks and things like that.
Yeah, they ask for that all the time.
Ask for it all the time.
It's like you have no business knowing that.
It's just standard. Well, you have to run the credit check.
Right, so. I know, but at the same time, it's like
do you want this service? Then we got to make sure you're legit, and we don't need to charge you a whole bunch of money up front.
You don't know if we're legit, but that's not
that's not important.
Right?
It's like that burden's not on us.
Before we start getting
it's
into
on you. You want my services.
Yeah, right. We're gonna have to change subjects. We're gonna get into prepper lore and start getting all survivalist here.
Neither of us are preppers. Neither of us are into that.
Yes, but if we keep talking around this, we might have make some.
It could
decisions.
be an interesting topic at some point, but
I don't know. We'll have to play a survival game.
There we go. We'll talk. That's what we need to do. Pair up gaming with real life.
Get some real prepper tips in there.
Fringe sociology.
Oh, that'd be so good. Yes. Okay.
What have you been playing, Dan, in your free time other than Destiny?
I've been splitting my time around, and I've been splitting my time around. Let's say, but I picked up for the Switch Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a hell of a thing that I'm not sure what it is yet.
Now I'm like. I have the name recognition. I've heard of Xenoblade before.
I have no idea what this connects to.
Okay,
I know it. I know
nothing about there's the greater Xenoblade,
and there's Xenogears, which were games, and then there's.
But I don't know that that's related.
I have no idea what because it's Xeno is the same Xeno.
It's all Xeno stuff.
I have no idea.
I played the Xenogears. Did I play? I think it was Xenogears on PS1.
I don't want to think
and
that's
that was like a Gundam style, like you're a mech, you're a mech pilot,
not Gangnam style,
not Gangnam style. Gun. Yeah, now I can't not say
Gundam style.
Gangnam mechs. They're my favorite ones.
That's a Tumblr genre. Anyway,
yes, Gangnam pilots, and it was an interesting game. But from what I have seen of this Xenoblade Chronicles, is like. Nothing like
no,
that.
Nothing like
I don't think they are at all related.
No, I mean, if it is, it's like hey, we're a company that owns the name.
We like to just put Xeno on the front of everything we do.
We really dislike 40K and like Xeno.
Xeno is an adjective. So
right.
Like,
well, and I've showed you some of it because it's one of those things.
I've seen a little bit of it
because if I recall, you come over and I'm like, I have to show you this because I'm not sure what to make of it because it's like an MMO, but it's a single player game. And then it has like these elements of a bunch of different other games. There's some kind of, I don't want to call it loot, but at the same time, it looks like there's rarity systems at play so you can get the same item drops, like a belt that this one gives you plus 20 strength. This one's plus 21. This one's plus 22. And like they have different rarities represented by diamonds.
And it is extremely Japanese.
Oh, it is. It is straight up. It may as well like have an anime opening at certain points. It breaks on.
Oh man, now that would sell me on it even more.
It goes full anime.
Give me a sweet theme song,
right? And a training montage, and maybe someone looking wistfully in a dark room. Just to be hell of anime.
Yeah, as it pans through like somebody floating upside down in the air.
And somebody's running.
At some point, running
towards something, but you don't know what. They stretch out their hand and then it changes frames.
Yes, cut to.
So you don't know.
Cut to action shot.
Well, the thing is like I swear I've seen an anime that follows a lot of the same principles.
I mean, they're all tropes.
But the whole hey, here's a lady who's actually a weapon that makes you like a better fighter thing. That's a rare one.
Well, okay, explain that part then. Like what? Like so?
I haven't got far enough in the game to get to just that.
Jump the gun a little on that.
Yeah, basically the plot line is that everyone lives on the back of titans, which are living creatures that just roam this cloud sea. That's it's both cloud and sea in that like it looks like clouds from the top, but I guess there's actual water underneath, because people have like diving suits when they go under, and salvage what's left of these technology, and these titans walk around on it. So you actually have cloud tides, so you can't access some places because of cloud depth. And anyway,
so all of you Waterworld fans, you'll understand.
Oh yeah,
because Kevin Costner does that into Denver. In Waterworld.
Yeah, so it's very Denver, not Denver like. It's like living on Denver.
It's like living underwater in Denver.
I got a little bit confused there. And it's weird. So. Anyway, young man on the cusp of, he's an entrepreneurial salvager, finds what is this sword and a lady, and like basically bonds with her and becomes what's called a driver. She is a blade. Drivers and blades work together But you also can
It already sounds very, very anime.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is you could also switch. A driver can have multiple blades, and they make a plot point to say like he's like, well, I would feel bad switching out because we're like friends and stuff. And she's like, no, it actually helps me out. Go for it.
I'm really tired.
Like I don't want to carry you all the
take
time.
A little bit
also,
of the load off, please, man. Yeah, get somebody else to hang out.
But you can find crystals that you then turn into blades, and the rarity affects the kind there are, and it seems like there's special name types or just generic types that you can mass produce almost. But the combat it looks like Tales, like the Tales of games.
Oh yeah, Tales games, yeah.
But at the same time,
right, yeah, I made that comment as well when I saw it, yeah.
But it's also an MMO.
Aesthetically, it's very much a Tales like.
It's more like an MMO because you initiate combat and you just auto attack every so often. And you
have cooldowns you're hitting.
Yeah, your cooldowns basically based on your hits, recharge your cooldowns, and then fill a meter that lets you do supers, and it's like if you super, depending on how you layer your supers with your party, it does different effects. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
It seems dense. It seems very dense.
And then
great looking game though.
Then I run into a dude who makes an artificial blade, and that blade system of upgrade is completely different. It's a one-off system, and I have to play a video game inside the game to get the points of the things to upgrade.
Systems on systems.
A lot of simple systems.
Incredibly dense.
It feels like at one point I was like, am I playing a free-to-play game? Because there's so many just systems that are fairly surface level, but they seem to interact with each other in a really neat way. But I'm playing that, and I'm loving it. I'm actually really, really enjoying it. It's fascinating.
I mean, I'm glad to see that more cool stuff is coming out on the Switch.
Right,
and,
absolutely.
More interesting things.
Yeah.
It's not just Breath of the Wild anymore.
It's not just Breath of the Wild. Apparently, people say Mario Odyssey is
very popular.
Also,
and they say it's great.
They say it's Mario Sunshine, but good, is what I've heard it described as.
Okay, fine. What I really want is another Mario Galaxy game.
Well, I don't know how it fits in that, because I never finished Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that space theme, and it felt good. It felt like just like a higher, more polished, like Mario 64 style. And I know that Odyssey is very like Mario 64 style. You just have that extra mechanic of possessing things with your hat,
involuntary possession. Yeah,
which also seems real weird. And I don't know. Mario Odyssey, it's probably fine. It didn't look amazing enough to really add to my desire to get a Switch.
Basically, it was, hey, it's a new console. Hey, it's a new Mario game.
It's a new Mario, and they're doing something different. And hey, good for them.
Right, and more power to them. I might pick it up at some point because
maybe.
I guess, but Xenoblade has been just
Xenoblade's one that I think I would pick up. Probably one of the first ones I would pick up at this point. It seems really good. I would like to play Stardew Valley as well.
Right, which is on the Switch, on PC. It's on everything at this point. I believe.
Stardew's on everything now, which is good. But it is something I'd like to be able to play handheld.
Well, I mean, if you're going to segue, then let's segue.
I was teeing it up for you.
Yeah.
I was teeing it up.
I'll call out a good segue when I see it, which is not what you're supposed to do, but whatever.
Everybody does it. Everyone thinks it's clever.
Yeah, well, whatever. Stardew Valley. I got I'm mostly through the winter now.
And you started in which season?
You start spring. It's spring, summer, fall, or autumn.
Okay, so you're almost at the end of your first year.
I am almost at the end of my first year.
Okay.
I went through the festival where I got a letter in the mail and saying like, hey, in the village we do a secret Santa. This is your person.
Oh, no.
Which I'm like, okay, Google search.
Oh yeah, Google. What is the best, the most optimal thing?
What is Sam like?
Right. Okay.
And it's the funniest thing because it's like, oh, Sam likes these things. I'm like, I don't know what any of those things are or how I get them. It's like, and then the other things, he likes eggs.
What?
Like, okay, he loves these other things. He likes eggs. I'm like, any egg works. I'm like, okay, I have chickens. I can get him an egg.
I get him an egg easy enough.
Joja Cola can, which is one of the trash items you fish out of the river.
That's great.
So I'm like, well, I could be a jerk and just fish out a can. Now I'll give him an egg. But he likes eggs, and so he's like, oh, hey, thanks, an egg.
Wait, isn't Sam the one that was like interested in your girl?
No, that was Clint.
Oh,
Clint the blacksmith who
that's right. Clint was going to have you give a present to a girl.
Yeah, okay. So I'll this game.
Oh, this game's so great.
I kind of spotted out the girl. I'm like, I think she makes her own clothes. She works at a bar. Probably a good hookup to have. Cool. And she's always like, oh, I would go out into the forest with you when you're like, but I got to work. Or, oh, you're going in the mines? That's cool. I wish I could, but I got to work. And it's like, I don't know if she's just trying to butter me up or what's going on. But whatever. She seems nice enough. So I found out I forget how I found out, but she likes amethysts. I gave her an amethyst because on her birthday.
That's what you do. It's one of the. It's like
she loved it.
It's how you do dating sims. You just give them presents that they like.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that how real life works?
It's
you
funny
give them presents they like.
I was rolling in to give her another present later on, and I got to see the fact that she was dreaming about me.
Oh,
she had a dream about me, and she's like, "I don't know what he is, but he's something special."
Oh wow!
It's like, this game is weird. Anyway, I get a letter in the mail from my bro, the blacksmith. He's been tempering my weapons, my tools, making it better, helping me do more efficient work. Love the guy. And he sends me a letter like, "Hey, Emily really likes amethysts. Can you give her one and tell her it's from me?" Like, okay. So since I'm going for her, I go to my one of my storage boxes, and there's about 20 of them sitting in there. I'm like, yeah, I think I could do that because I know she likes it, and I figured I gotta use amethyst for something. So I roll up and I give her the amethyst, and she's like, "Oh, it's great, I love it." Gives me a kiss.
Ooh.
Well, it just says star. It's basically text based. It's
I know.
Asterisk smooch asterisk. So it's hard to get. It's not that racy. All right, keep your pants on. But what's funny is like then her follow up dialogue is like, "Oh, you got it where? Oh, I don't really care. I love it."
This game's great. I'm kind of excited.
That's like the most interaction I've had in any one moment, but it was just like, okay, that's fantastic. Also, I need to go get more wood because I'm going to build a chicken coop.
Yeah, so you can give Sam some eggs.
Yeah, so I could get Sam an egg for Christmas.
Man, what a lousy gift.
Hey, he liked it. He likes eggs.
Sam is a simple child.
I'll have you know that was a gold star egg.
I know you sacrificed greatly to give that to Sam.
Do you know how much money a gold star egg? I mean,
I have no concept of Stardew economy.
It's almost worth more than just turning it into mayonnaise. I could just straight sell the egg and get more than the final product.
I mean, I know I'd quite enjoy the high dollar mayonnaise.
Well, actually, all my chickens now are laying large eggs, so I get Gold Star mayonnaise, which of course
Gold Star mayonnaise.
Yeah,
that
right.
Sounds...
That sounds like it's better than Silver Star mayonnaise.
Ooh,
nobody likes that.
Yeah, really.
And or the Walmart No Star mayonnaise. Come on now. What kind of farm do you think I'm running here? So I got everything upgraded.
Kroger brand,
right? Yeah. So I did that during the winter. I got to the bottom of the mine, which I didn't think. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to do, and all of a sudden I'm at the bottom of the mine. I'm like, oh, and I have a ton of gold.
Is there anything like cool at the bottom? I mean, is it like? Is
I
it
got
just like, oh, guess what? You're at the bottom of the mine.
I got
Surprise.
I got a thing that improved my my energy permanently. A star drop thing or star seed or I forget what it's called.
I mean, that's good.
But it permanently increases my energy, which is great, which means I can do more in a day. And then I got a skeleton key.
Okay.
That unlocks something. I looked it up because this is the way these games are.
Sure.
I have to do stuff at the community center to repair. They'll eventually repair the automated bus that goes out to the desert. And there's a new mines out in the desert that this opens.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Right? Also, you can always...
I mean, you got to save that rec center for the breakdancing kids.
Right. I mean, I got to. And
otherwise, they're all just going to turn into drug addicts and
it's terrible.
Prostitutes. Yeah. So...
Yeah, and I figured out that I did some reading, and apparently the ghost of my grandpa is going to come back to me on the beginning of my 3rd year there. And if I don't have a certain, I can resummon him to test me again. But if I meet his demanding standards, he'll give me a statue that just straight gives me iridium bars, which is basically like the top end crafting material.
I mean, that's always delightful.
Yeah, every day, just here's some
high end crafting.
Yeah, I hope you've had kids because you won't now. Here's an iridium bar. I don't know. It just sounds like it's dangerous materials.
I think it would be. I mean, don't sit on it for a long time.
I don't. I keep it in my backpack. So
what's her face is going to be disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. She seems like the accepting sort.
She's like, oh, it's okay. We'll adopt.
I'm upgrading my house for her. It's already one size bigger.
Oh, snap.
I have a double bed.
Have you asked her to move in with you yet?
Not yet. No, this is one of those. If it plays out like the Harvest Moon games, it's going to be you have to do a quest thing to get to an affection level. Now you'll get engaged by giving her a feather or something ridiculous, and then after a month you'll get married.
Oh wow, that's a pretty quick turnaround.
Or something. Well, remember that's equivalent to 3 months.
Okay, I mean that's better. I don't know why everyone wants to rush these things. Jeez.
Well, I mean, I've been giving her. I haven't been. I'm actually really bad at the relationship aspect because you can give 2 gifts a week. I give her like 1 gift every 3 weeks. That is
whenever it's convenient.
I'm like, I got nothing going on today. The blacksmith is upgrading my pick. Can't do the mines. I'll go see what Emily's doing. Hey, here's an amethyst. All right, cool. I'm gonna go fishing.
The dating sim aspect of this.
I am being half-assed about it. At just that's what I'm doing.
All good, man.
But whatever, because I'm not in it for the relationship stuff.
I know. I think the whole package is pretty impressive. Especially for like one single dude to have programmed,
absolutely,
and, like, designed. It's super impressive.
Yeah. And then when I get tired of that, I booted up Darkest Dungeon for a little bit.
How is that going? Are you still playing that a bit? Has it gotten to a point where it's just like harder than you're enjoying?
Actually, I play it like a roguelike, and then I'll turn it on, play like a mission or two, and then turn it off. Just when
is that a better way to partake of that game?
I don't know yet because I've only played a couple of missions. I do know that all of my level 0 and level 1 guys went into a level 1 dungeon and completely stomped it. Because you not only do you have to worry about health, you have to worry about stress.
Right.
Because when you hit certain stress thresholds,
it affects their sanity.
Basically, at 50% stress, they take on an attribute. Like, then they can actually be negatively, like permanently, like I had somebody who came out of a dungeon as a kleptomaniac. and occasionally you'll open a chest and they're like, nope, nothing here, as they're stuffing stuff into their bags.
That's great.
Or I had a guy get so paranoid he refused to take heals.
Wow.
Which is real bad.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely would shorten his lifespan.
I'm pretty sure that guy died, and I was like, well, nuts to that.
Yep.
Well, I won't say you don't deserve it. Is basically how that went down. But it's fun. I like it. I like the way some of the different classes work. I do. My favorite thing about it is the leper class is a tank. So they are lepers, but they actually act as a tank and draw aggro, and they do have a self heal, which is nice for a tank. I guess as a result of learning this stuff, I did some research on it, and I guess that's a part of leprosy. That's why your body, like you have wounds and sores and all this stuff gets infected, is because you're feeling like you feel less.
Yeah,
your sense of feeling decreases, and like it causes all sorts of problems,
nerve degeneration.
Yeah, nerve degeneration and things like that. And it's like, oh, so that's why they make really good tanks, is because they don't feel the hit,
feel the pain.
And it's really kind of cool. One of the great things that Darkest Dungeon does, though, is when you build your party, you have 4 slots. And if you put in certain people, it'll sometimes generate a name for that formation. That the developers have said, yeah, we think this is a thing. So if you do all Crusaders, it calls it the Last Crusade.
Okay.
Is the name it gets.
That's pretty good.
I was running 2 Vestals, which is like your healing battle nun type things, a Crusader and a Leper, and they got called the Holy Rollers. It's the Holy Roller. It's like, okay.
So they got some jokes. That's good.
There's some jokes.
I appreciate that.
If you run all Rogues or something, it gives you something. I saw somebody trying to figure out a way to run all Jesters, and they're just bouncing around, and without seeing how the formation mechanic works, that doesn't really play. I know. It's just that there's little things in there, and I should say I'm not using any mods. I'm not using any of the expansions, because I want to kind of get the pure playthrough. But they keep up. They put DLC out with new classes, with new mechanics and things.
I mean, I'm glad to hear they're still supporting it, because that game does look really cool.
It looks so good. It's that. Obviously the Red Hook Studios, they are inspired by
Eldritch,
Lovecraftian stuff. Well, there's the horror Red Hook, the massacre Red Hook. I forget the
horror Red Hook.
Yeah, so their logo is Red Hook with a tentacle.
Yeah,
it's clearly
awesome. I mean, good on them.
But the fact that they're pulling the Mike Mignola art style of Hellboy fame, it works so well, because Mignola's doing the same thing, like getting into the Eldritch-ish genre. Would you call it cosmic horror? Whatever,
Eldritch horror, whatever.
Anyway,
it's all the same.
Old gods
at this point,
and all
god
of that
style
things that men should not know.
yes,
all of that, and it's just a ton of fun, at least so far, because I've started learning things like, you can investigate things as you're walking room to room. Stack of books, stay away from stack of books until I have a class that seems to need that, because it seems to give everybody stress and horror hits whenever they read the forbidden knowledge, and I'm like, there must be some class that benefits from this, but these guys are not it.
Right.
And there's traps,
and that makes sense. I'm glad that it is pretty full featured.
Yeah, and it is definitely full featured. I do not regret picking it up at all. Just having a good fun with that, but in a kind of casual, occasional, almost like most people would do a phone game. Pick it up
like me and Freeblade.
Yeah, it's
pick it up when you feel like it.
Yeah.
But it's not one that you're it's not your go-to if you have I'm
bunch
of time to kill.
Well, every time you boot up the game, it says, "Hey, this is a game about loss and recovery." Sometimes you will lose your entire party, but you can't stop there. You have to keep going. That's what this game is about. And I'm the kind of person that I take those hits rather hard, and so I'm like, need to be careful because roguelikes are not my style.
Yeah, same. It's why I didn't play stuff like XCOM and
right, exactly,
things like that.
And you can name your characters in this the same thing.
Man,
and so they want
you to get invested and feel that loss.
There's even a graveyard in town, so you can see all your guys who died at what level.
That's cool. I dig that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just been kind of just fiddling around with that. Yeah, and then the other thing that was playing a little bit today.
Yeah, I kind of walked in and
I'm like, "Hey, check this out!"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, right on." I saw you were back in The Division.
The Division, which is having a free weekend on Steam, which will be over by the time this podcast goes live.
And The Division's a game that we played a lot of when it came out.
Yes, yeah.
Man, how long ago was that? Is that a couple years ago?
No, it was March 16.
Okay, yeah, so. Coming up on a couple years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So coming up on a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft game, right?
Yeah, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft made it.
The reason why I haven't picked it up on PC is Uplay, and that's on consoles. It doesn't exist or it's a different interface.
Yeah.
But it's basically making you install another launcher, and it's
too many launchers, people.
Well, here's the thing: it's still nestled in Steam.
Okay, that's better.
No, but it still launches a separate launcher.
That's stupid.
It is, and it links back in a weird way. And you have
but The Division was a great game.
Yes,
we had a lot of fun with it. It was pretty janky at start. It was still we had a ton of fun.
Yeah, because it's a loot shooter.
It is a loot shooter. So again, like we said earlier, get used to it. We're into the loot.
Whatever, we play what we want.
We play what we want. But yeah, great. Felt good shooting. They had some weird.
Just quirky. It was quirky
mechanics, I guess, like at
the end game.
In the end game and how some of that played together. They didn't really have a very well fleshed out progression for that series to hit as far as the season pass went.
They knew what they wanted to do. They had no idea how to do it.
Yeah, but it played well. Kind of a cover-based shooter.
I mean, absolutely a cover-based shooter.
Yeah, absolutely a cover-based shooter that had a really cool mechanic of so it's New York post a
viral apocalypse, I would call it.
Viral apocalypse, terrorist attack. And so they've evacuated most of New York, and
they evacuated or died,
or they died. Yeah, and there's part of it called the Dark Zone that was a really interesting addition to that whole thing. It's basically a very highly contaminated area that you have to go into with a mask, and you kind of go around and kill roving bands of different gangs for loot, and then you have to evac that loot.
Right, you have to call in a helicopter and guard it for a minute.
Guard it, and then you can airlift your loot out, and then later you can go and use it. And it was super interesting.
We played the demo before anything else. They did a beta weekend.
Yeah, the beta weekend.
And we were all hooked. We're like, this is amazing.
So good.
And the tense and even on the PS4, which graphics were not as good as what you would see on PC.
It was good. It always looked good.
But you'd get fog effects, and it would get foggy, and you couldn't see anything, and it just led this intensity to this abandoned New York with cars everywhere, and there are kind of some light sources. And
man, kind of makes me want to go back and play it again. But the other part that I really loved was you would get cosmetic gear.
Yeah.
Like beanies, hats, sneakers, different kinds of pants and jackets.
Yeah, and so you could cut stuff. You're like, oh, look at this puff beanie I got.
Puffy vest and then
the puff jackets.
Yeah,
and then
puff jackets. And oh man, it was so good. So good.
Yeah, in a weird way.
I missed that a lot.
And then you hit the end game and you're like, this is terrible.
Yeah, it was not very fleshed out.
It wasn't balanced properly.
Yeah. They had dungeons almost, and those were pretty good. But then when it came to their, raid analog, it just was also kind of not very well.
Well, it also was the moment where so everybody knew that there were problems with the scaling of enemies.
Yeah,
but the raid showcased it when you had a shotgunner walk in and from 100 feet could drop you in one shot.
Drop
you're going
you like a sniper,
and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, so really imbalanced in that kind of way. But I think we saw a lot of fun with it, regardless. And so, what made you jump back in? Just the fact that it was a free weekend.
They're doing a free weekend. And here's the thing: I've wanted to jump in previously, and they've had it on sale before. But the U-Pit play stuff has actually kept me away from it. But
okay,
but it's kind of the one thing that if you're going to talk loot shooter, I think it's a better game than Destiny.
Interesting.
In the way that what I get out of it, because it drops loot constantly.
Right. Yeah.
And they
I
have
do remember that.
And here's the thing that they have set bonuses.
Yes.
And
Also very very
well, and set bonuses that change how you play. Like, hey, you're going to have an LMG focus with this build, and it does this for you. And there's even one that changes, like if you use more consumable items and flame based weaponry.
Interesting.
There's actually there's actual builds there. There's one that boosts your electronics ability, which is like your skill build. So you're using more skills and they're cooling down faster. Is kind of the idea of that set. That there was a couple of them. There was one that like made you better at killing elites. There's one for running around in the dark zone that makes you better in the dark zone. And they've added a couple since then. In fact, I was surprised when I logged on this weekend to see that they're talking about the update that had just gone live 2 days ago.
And that surprised me when you mentioned that, and I didn't think they had been supporting the Division for like over a year at this point,
right?
Like,
because it was such a train wreck at points where the devs came out and had to make multiple apologies,
and they did make multiple revamps to a lot of that game. I was kind of already out by the time they started really making
looking at time to kill
changes,
and all that. Yeah.
So I actually don't know what the Division is like now, and it kind of makes me interested to get back in myself.
I've got 2 days to get to the end game and decide if I want to give them some money for it.
Give them a little more money and get into it again.
I might. I'm not sure right now. I'm trying to split my time between so many different games.
So many things, yeah.
That playing a game I've already played.
It just happens to be on sale on Steam right now, so it kind of encourages you to consider purchasing.
And since they just added new content in new zones, and they're
makes it desirable.
It does, and they actually have revamped even some of the DLCs that they've put out. They've rebalanced all of that, and they actually. And here's a fun one for you. They've actually, you know how you always run around and you have that Division patch on, right? On your shoulder.
Division patch.
Your shoulder just had the Division patch on.
Oh, right, because you're
Division.
Yeah.
They've now that as you accomplish certain goals, you can change your patch.
Ooh, that is cool.
See, I'm now fishing here for you.
That is all right. I'm on board.
They now have. It looks like they added loot boxes, which sucks. Of course, everybody does at a point.
I mean, I am not a hard sell in that like I'm contemplating getting CS:GO because I saw some cool skins on a gun and someone's YouTube video, and I'm like, that's a cool skin on a gun. I wonder what I'd have to do to get that cool skin on that gun.
That's pretty ridiculous. Gamble is how you do it.
Because I don't care. I'm not really a shooter guy, and I've always had a kind of a. I used to play. Counter-Strike, OG Counter-Strike, back on the original Xbox, but so I have not touched any kind of competitive shooting for a long time.
Yeah,
but
okay,
it's good to see. Like little things like that are things that pique my interest.
Well,
I am a transmog whore.
Can I continue to pique your interest?
I mean, please.
So they added loot boxes because of course they did, or some form of give us money, buy stuff kind of system. But as you're doing things in the world, you're also earning things that are fragments of keys. You reassemble keys, and then you can unlock cosmetic premium items. So basically, bright engrams from Destiny. So, did
they ever overcome my one problem with their cool cosmetic loots?
Which remind me,
they were way too serious with it. Like it was all too like serious looking gear, like actual clothing, and like nothing. It never got very goofy. It never
got like bright pink, but that was about it.
And even that, I don't think it was that. I don't even think. Is there a bright pink now?
There's some bright
I may
pink
not have been playing when there was bright pink. They didn't really have a lot of fun colors on stuff.
The weapon skins have gotten
the weapon skins were really good.
I think we played and we got some like snake skins that were like neon green.
Neon snake skin stuff. Yeah. Animal patterns. Yeah. Those were cool.
So those have continued to go.
I'm glad. That's good to hear.
I'll update you on.
I forgot about that.
I'll update you on the cosmetic nature on that of what's going on. But they now have face masks. like ski masks and junk that you can put on. So you can
that's cool.
So you can go serious in a different direction.
Well,
to
I always wanted
around to ridiculous.
even just to be able to pull the hood up on a hoodie.
No, you can't pull the hood up.
Oh, man,
because you can't see the beanie then.
I mean, that's a look. It's a look, though.
Then you'd have to get a jacket beanie combo.
I mean, because isn't the idea like trying to get your character to like look as much like you as you could? Did they ever add any?
No, that's just the 4 faces.
Just the same 4 faces still? Okay. I was wondering if they ever beefed up their character creation.
No, it
was fine. It was like not very deep.
Well, now that you have masks, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Though I had like that cool Asian dude running around.
Yeah.
But yeah. I probably would just recreate my same character again.
Well, but here's the thing: I'd say get it on PC because it looks better.
Yeah.
And the controls are weird.
I am looking at building a new PC, so
maybe then. Anyway, so that's what I've been seeing if that can kind of win back my heart. Let's say because I put a lot of hours into the Division, and I liked
same. Yeah.
When they started fixing stuff, everyone I had played with was gone, and that made me sad. But then
the nature of it though. If they don't really like nail it out of the gate,
how do you keep interest?
How do you get people back as well?
Well, yeah,
that's another.
And here's the thing: is if we'd never touched it originally, we would have moved on. And if I would have been making that pitch now, you'd be like, okay,
cool.
maybe now's the time to jump in.
Yeah, maybe now's the time. And they have made significant changes to that game since I stopped playing.
Yes, in fact, okay. So just last note here: we never really were into the Dark Zone thing because there was the rogue mechanic, going rogue.
Right, yeah.
But here's the problem: is it was so broken. So if you basically harassed another player, if you shot them, you would go rogue. If you killed them, you would go rogue for longer, and you could intentionally do that and go on, and you would hit a manhunt status. And if you survive that, there were bonuses, and they were fiddling around with that for forever. The problem is people would mess with that because you're trying to kill a rogue. Someone sees an opportunity, they step in front of you on purpose. You shoot them, you're now rogue. They blast you with no consequences.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, that was kind of a busted system for sure.
So,
and you would have like teams of like really over-leveled people,
and they would have,
and they would just kind of hunt your team down, and they would just keep hunting you down.
Right. And they would run a server.
It ended up making it like not fun because the balance was so off.
So they've added 2 different PvP modes that are just you queue in and go fight, which is nice. But they've also is
there now a PvE only Dark Zone?
No, which is the thing they need. Because the Dark Zone is the funnest part of that game, but other players ruin it immediately.
Yeah.
I see another player and I'm like, I'm just going to leave because I don't want to deal with another player. I just don't. Because I'm a PvE guy. That's just how it is.
Right.
And if I wanted to PvP...
Granted, the time, like there were a number of times we had a good time.
We
hunting
did.
down rogues and or like fighting off people who were like going rogue and trying to kill us.
And we did go rogue one time because a guy took our gear, but that we just had to teach a lesson.
Yeah. it was very responsible.
Yeah, we were looking at the gear. He ran up and snagged it. And we were letting him tag along behind us. He wasn't in our group.
Right.
And so we had kind of a non-aggression pact.
Essentially, yeah.
And then he violated
unspoken,
and it was funny because 3 of us turned around and just smoked him.
Yep.
And then he came back, and I think did he drop the? I forget how it all went down.
I don't think.
But anyway, it kind of came back. It was
we killed him, so we got his loot. So
right, but we left it there for him. We took the item that we were looking at and left his loot.
Yes.
So he knew it was like, hey, you broke the rules. I think he came back and still followed us a little bit.
Maybe
after we cooled off. Anyway, this is Shaggy Dog
good
story.
Times. I'm just like remembering this because it's been a while.
It's just this patch just now that they changed the rogue system.
What did they change it to?
You have to flag in order for your bullets to make you go rogue.
Interesting.
So everyone knows when you're rogue because you have to flag yourself rogue.
Oh,
now,
okay.
Other players
that is better.
Other players can still go rogue and run up on you and ruin your experience, but you'll see them coming. No one can like jump you.
It's not a sneaky.
There's a little pulse, and you get alerted when the moment they switch to rogue. And they can't just be.
That is better, and that okay. Because I kind of be okay with that. Because for them to completely take that out would take a lot of the teeth out of the Dark Zone.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want a PvE Dark Zone. I know I'm that guy. Yes. And there's some places that are supposed to kind of try and be that, but nothing matches that thrill of the Dark Zone.
It's true. It's true. The Dark Zone is great. It's like hard. All the PvE enemies in the Dark Zone are way harder, and I don't know, having that extra edge of like at any moment someone could just go rogue and try and steal your loot.
Here's the problem: is the way they balanced it. All it was packs of rogues running around gunning down people and having enough buffs, and they basically people.
With all that high level gear and the way it scaled, it was ridiculous.
Well, people could figure out if I pop this cooldown and this cooldown and this cooldown, I shoot you once, you're actually in a downed state before I'm rogue.
Oh,
and they run up and punch you, and they're a rogue, and they go run off and hide.
That's crazy.
So you're dead before you even know you're in danger. So
interesting,
and then
interesting. I look forward to hearing like
Tales from the Dark Zone.
Tales from the Dark Zone here as we as you check out Division. Again,
yeah,
if it's worth.
Here's the thing: is
maybe taking a look at it.
Nothing beats the rush of I have an item that I absolutely really want.
Yeah.
I have to run to a helicopter, extract it.
I have this awesome sniper rifle, and I gotta get it out.
The thing that you never saw that they added was enemy players, if they go rogue, they can cut the rope.
Oh, that is...
Because before you get your
hardcore.
gear, you could get your gear on, and you just turn around and start clapping at the guy who's rogue. You're like, whatever, my gear's out of here. So now they can run up and cut your rope. Your loot drops on the ground, and they can steal it. Just, ooh, it's intense. And if it was better balanced, I might be more for it. But I don't know.
I mean, I'm curious to see. I think it's an interesting thing that hasn't really been in games, since the Division. It's the one thing the Division really had that was super unique.
Yeah,
was that whole Dark Zone experience and the fact that you could lose loot.
Yeah,
it dropped for you, and it could be super rare. It could be super good, and you could. Easily lose it.
Especially because when you call that chopper, like enemies rush your position.
Yeah, you shoot that flare off to call that chopper in, and man, everyone's coming running because like either they need to evac stuff or they're coming to take your stuff.
Right, and that was always kind of fun when you roll up. You look, there's two guys on there, and you're like, oh, that means there's spot for my gear. Throw your gear on there,
and it's good.
And it's good to go.
And they're cool if you're not trying to be shady.
Yeah.
So
yeah, everybody's like the standoffishness. Everybody's like, hey, we're cool. Everybody's doing the hands up gesture just to be like, hey,
we're all cool. Like not here to steal your stuff.
Right.
Oh man, I've missed that. That was good.
Yeah.
It was an interesting. I imagine almost true to what life would be like in that kind of a
I don't know.
situation. Like
I go back and forth because they're always the zombie movie thing is the real enemy is man.
Trust no one.
But it's like, here's the thing: is like, yes, that'll happen obviously, but I there's the optimist in me that's like, yes, of course you're going to have that, but most people are going to be like, oh no, we're totally screwed unless we work together. We're totally going to work together.
Yeah, and I think you're going to have multiple. You're going to have both groups. That's the thing. Like,
you're going to have both
everyone's
groups.
Going to tribe up like they do now, and
it's
just going to be a little bit more life and death.
It's so extreme in the zombie type post-apocalyptic shows. It's to a comical degree, and I know why they do that. But
it seemed like it was a very much like no one really trusted anybody in the Division, and you're just like, well, you never know. You just never know. Even if they've been cool this whole time,
they're just setting you up for the long game.
At any second, they can just toss a grenade, and bam, it's on.
Yes, but they incentivized it to the point where there was no reason not to.
Yeah.
And then the way the scaling was, hey, I'm a higher level. I have the top end raid gear. Like I have the set, the Dark Zone set, and I have everything I need. And you clearly don't. You're screwed.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
Like they could run up on you and they'd be like, oh, you're rocking that bonus, and just shoot you on sight, just as a way of teaching you not to be there.
And that's bad design, and I'm sure that's fixed easily enough.
Well, I mean, maybe they're still trying. It's almost 2 years later. They're still trying.
Well, I don't know how much time they're putting into the Division at this point. It may just be like a very small team passion.
Well, they unlocked
keeping it running.
So, we're going for a bit here, but
we're going a little long. But the Division was a very it was a fun.
Well, the new zone,
thing.
The new zone is a crashed aircraft carrier on the beach or like partially on there, and you go on that, and like there's a wave based mode that they just added, like a horde mode.
Okay,
they just added a horde mode into it. So how much they're doing? They're still working on it.
I mean, as soon as it's the Division PUBG, then you'll know.
When they do a battle royale mode,
battle royale mode in the Division.
Oh well, I mean they kind of do that. It's the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone is there.
It kind of is.
Okay, but I guess just briefly. So you've also been playing. You're back deep into WoW.
I happened to find a early morning weekend raid team in addition to my weekday raid team. So I'm raiding on a couple different characters with some new people that are and the early morning thing is something I kind of wanted to do originally, is just have an early morning on the weekend. It's a little less intensive, that kind of a thing. But turned out these guys are really relaxed, really chill, not as hardcore as my weekday team. And it's kind of exactly what I was looking for. It's very refreshing to be on a more relaxed, just kind of a freewheeling team. And
not filthy casuals, though.
Not filthy casuals by any means. Like they are going to be doing heroic, and they usually do get like ahead of the curve. Some good raiders, but they're not like no one's getting on anybody.
It's a game. It's still a game.
It's still a game, and these guys have been doing it for. They said they've been around for like 4 years.
Oh wow!
So very established raid.
It's that group. Yeah,
they are going to be doing it thick and thin. Doesn't matter how long the raid tier lasts
until they turn the servers off.
Keep going. Yeah, these guys are just in it. They enjoy just being in there and BSing and having fun. And it was very refreshing to get in there with people that were just so free, like happy go lucky, and just like we're just enjoying the game,
man.
Regardless of how long this is going to go. I mean,
that's admirable.
Yeah, it's surprising because a lot of people can't do it, like myself included. I have found
you need that hardcore team.
I mean, not necessarily the hardcore, but I have found that I burn out on longer raid tiers and just farming when I need nothing. But it's nice to know that these guys are pretty solid.
Yeah,
and it's going to be interesting to see what an early morning raid team is going to be like.
Yeah.
Especially because this tier is expected to go very, very long. But that has increased the time that I've been needing to work on 2 separate characters. Which is why you're not playing anything else. Which is why I'm not really playing much else, because I've got dailies to do and I got gear to catch up. But it's not going to be that long because I'm already pretty decently geared on both characters.
Well, you need to figure out something, because otherwise we're going to turn this into WoW talk, because I can't keep talking about the games I'm playing this whole time.
I know, it's so true. Well, on top of that, I also joined a vanilla raid team as well. So
okay. Welcome to WoW Chat.
Welcome to WoW Chat. Yeah. So I went on Horde side. I normally play Alliance, and some guys I used to work with, kind of out of the blue, were like, "Hey, we're gonna do a vanilla thing where we're gonna raid Molten Core at level 60," and I'm like, "Cool, yeah, I'll do it." So that's what's actually been taking up my time, is having to level from 0 to 60 on a new
unassisted
bear druid. Not unassisted. I used heirlooms, but yeah.
But then you got to go find the gear that's appropriate to.
Right, I have to re-gear, which is what takes the longest.
Takes
that's
long.
what actually. It's like when you're replacing your heirloom gear with level 60 gear,
and you're feeling real sad when you do it.
Not really, because it's boring. Heirlooms are boring. You're too powerful. I could probably solo dungeons. It's ridiculous how powerful it is. But that's getting nerfed in the new stuff as well. The next patch, they're nerfing heirlooms quite a bit, and they're changing how leveling works.
I liked because there's most people who want to level don't like, they want to level, they want to get through it.
Well, they're nerfing the power of heirlooms, not the XP gain.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
because they are rescaling all leveling throughout all of WoW. They're making it so you can complete whole zones, so the zones are scaling from regardless of where you're at. Everything that is
appropriate
from 0 to 60 is appropriate content from 0 to 60.
Oh, great! They're doing the thing that they did in Legion.
So you could spend your entire time in just 2 zones to get from 0 to 60,
because there's so many quests.
Or maybe it's from 10 to 60, because I think the starting zones are still 0 to 10.
Right,
and then 10 to 60, and then I believe it's 60 to 80. And then that'll get you through,
because nobody wants to do Burning Crusade again.
Right, and you can choose. You can do it through Wrath content or through BC content.
Really, you can just go.
You can go wherever you want, and then you can choose either Kata or Mist of Pandaria to level through to get to the next tier.
Really,
and then you have to do Warlords and Legion.
That's actually quite fascinating. Okay, yeah,
it's a smart way to do it. You can kind of pick and choose, especially if you've kind of done that leveling grind a lot of times. Now you can go back through and just choose
do the stuff you didn't.
I never got to do a couple of these zones, so I'm just going to level through these and get the whole story from that.
From Pandaria forward, I basically I think I basically lore mastered all of those games.
Yeah,
Alliance
absolutely.
Side. Alliance
yeah,
side,
Alliance
I should
side,
say.
yeah.
I should say, yeah, that I went through all of those. So going back, I'm like, well, no, I'm going to do just all BC, even though I just said nobody wants to because I really don't want to, just to see what those...
Yeah, you can skip it now.
Zanga Marsh or whatever
great.
it is.
Yeah.
I still have no idea what's going on there.
You really, yeah. Because you do like 5-6 quests. Like you basically just barely start the quest lines and then you move on.
It's whatever quest you get done while you're queued for dungeons.
Yep, exactly.
That's exactly how that goes. And then you ding, and you're like, okay, I am the second I can get out of this zone, I'm moving to the next one.
Yeah, until you hit like Warlords of Draenor, and then leveling through dungeons was terrible. It was actually way better.
They intentionally nerfed it.
Yeah, it was just way better to run around and collect the weird treasures that they had hidden everywhere.
And then you get the maps, just so you
get the maps and you just fly.
Yeah,
fly from treasure to treasure, and you could level in like 2 hours. It was great.
I remember you did that.
I think all of that's going to get nerfed, balanced.
Balanced. Yeah.
Because I think you do still have to level through Warlords and through Legion content.
Which those weren't bad because Legion at least let you take approach.
Right.
And this is what I was afraid of was happening because we were talking about this earlier or before, and it just makes me want to go and kind of start playing WoW again. A little bit.
I mean, WoW is that old thing. WoW is it's like the comfortable shorts or something. Like they're always going to be there. Like you can always jump back in. You know exactly what you're getting out of it. It's always just going to be more WoW.
But here's the thing: is before I was the kind of kid who was beat a game, get the next one, beat a game, get just powering through games and things that had some co-op stuff. Playing with buddies and kind of coming back around on it. Kind of just ringing everything I could. I was achievement whoring for a while, 100% in games, and then getting rid of them just to extend that playability. But then you got me into WoW, and that completely changed how I play games. Like, it completely changed how I view that gaming experience because you can't achievement whore WoW. I mean, there are people out there are. But,
you really can.
but
there are achievements forever in that game.
That's the problem is most people cannot.
Yeah.
Most people do not have
the time investment required for a lot of achievements in that game.
Well, for just the insane title or whatever it is,
that breaks
most people.
Time. Yeah,
most people break on that attempt.
Kind of a thing, or doing all the holiday achievements to get that.
Did that my first year?
Yeah,
I did that my first year.
I mean, if you know you want to do it, getting into it, then yeah.
Well, I was still I still had that mentality a little bit, and I knew there was mounts at the end of it.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
WoW's kind of nailed it on their reward system for achievements and all of that.
But that changed completely because it was like, hey, I'm just going to do the stuff I want to do, and that's no big deal. Like, there's pet battling. Screw pet battling. I have nothing to do with it.
Right? Yeah. Like, it's there if you want to engage with it. Yeah.
Hey, I'm running old legacy stuff, and I dropped a pet. That's a cool pet. I'm going to have it follow me. I don't want to battle with it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not a monster.
Not a pocket monster. Yeah, so WoW's been taking up some time. I mean, it's just the initial startup for getting a character ready to raid, and then that drops off quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll have plenty of time now that everything's leveled and geared and ready to roll. So it's basically just going to be whatever commitments I have for the actual raids themselves. And no, it's been good. I've actually been really enjoying this raid. It's been a lot of fun. I'm back in like I haven't been for a while.
You got the bug real bad.
Yeah, I got the bug again, and it comes and goes, especially just based on how things are feeling, how raid teams are jiving, how much or if I get a new legendary that helps hype things up a bit.
Right.
And those are still coming because I did take a bit of a break in the middle of this expansion. So
right.
It's all new to me.
Yeah, you were explaining it to me. Like if I had picked up and started playing, I would get something like in the first month. I'd get like 8 legendary.
Oh no, you'd be like raiding in the first couple weeks.
Just swimming in legendaries.
It doesn't take long. Yeah, they'll give you a bunch of legendaries since you haven't ever got any.
I never got one because I
never got them.
I stopped playing when that system was broken.
I think they give you your first 3 in a pretty quick succession, and then it slows down progressively until there's like a flat level where you just have to be like raiding and stuff, and eventually you'll get more. I think they say about every 2 weeks you'll, on average, when you hit the max. Once you've gotten your first like few quick ones, you can get a new one about every couple weeks.
Okay. Can I still make bags and make money off of that? Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah.
And it's still Draenor bags still. Right?
No, there's a new one, but they retail for about the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're roughly the same.
They're the same size. which is weird. They're just a different icon.
Well, that's stupid because
it is stupid.
Go farm the mats in Draenor.
It's easier. Yeah, the Draenor bags are way easier.
Well, yeah, because if I got leveled up, the power creep is I'm gonna go kill the big guys.
Also, profession stuff in Legion has not been my favorite. It's been a big
bummer.
A big huge quest line for each profession, and just not. I mean, everything. It's very valuable. Like if you want to sell stuff, like the professions have been way better.
Like I said, I think I have a tailor on my shaman's a tailor. I think
I don't know
because I wanted bags, and I always want for bags.
Tailoring's not so great at the end of the expansion because everyone has a bunch of gear already. They don't need the crafted stuff as much.
Right.
You can still sell it, and I think there's like crafted legendaries now.
But all I did it was for bags. Literally, all I picked up tailoring was for bags.
Me too.
For me, for my character.
Yep. I wanted to make sure all my characters had max bag slots.
Right.
And apparently coming, if you attach an authenticator to your account, you get 4 additional slots in your base backpack.
those bastards.
So, and if you already have it, obviously you're just going to roll it in. You're just going to get your extra 4 slots, and you're actually going to have a 20 slot backpack. The first time I think the backpack has been modified since like vanilla. I don't know.
Oh, just that first bag.
Yeah, just that first bag.
The base bag that you can't do anything
with. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's less exciting.
Oh no, it's not like every bag gets an extra 4 slots. That'd be crazy.
Or I was thinking earlier I was thinking they're pushing
people be pack ratting even harder.
I misunderstood, but the reason why I said those bastards, I thought it was an additional 4 slots for backpacks.
Oh no, that would be amazing,
right?
Like, and then everyone would do it anyway. I think everyone's going to do it for the 4 slots. Unless you're just like,
who's not going?
Who doesn't already have an authentication?
I don't know. They've all been hacked. That's
clearly, yeah. It's big enough that they have now made a reward for you to like actually secure your account.
Right. And I did that. Yeah.
Years ago we've done it.
Yeah. For years
it's been that way. But no, it's been a lot of fun. It's good. It's good being back in WoW and feeling kind of like home. The excitement again, because it's been a little lost for a while. Having like gone through less than stellar raid team experiences from coming back off the break, just because it was convenient. I jumped into a team that was less exciting.
Yeah. See, that's
not
why
really my speed either, which was
that's when I cut out is my work schedule changed, and also it felt like that the fire that even though we had a team and I love it, I love that team kept me playing WoW for what, a year longer than I would have normally.
Probably at least.
The entire if you take the time I was playing WoW and minus 3 months, we would have stuck with it for 3 months. The rest was all that raid team that carried me through.
I mean, before we were raiding, you were even kind of burning out.
Oh, I was absolutely burning out.
You were kind of burning out just because after we had finished leveling.
Because I knew there was more stuff that I couldn't do.
Right.
And that first raid experience was like, real bad.
We got a raid. We got to figure out how to do this, and we quickly did find that we
found a team.
That original one was not a raiding experience. That was a joke.
Right.
But we quickly left that server and found a raid team that was stellar.
And we started getting our head of the curves.
Yeah,
and
it was good times.
Had good dudes we still talk to this day.
Yep, absolutely.
So anyway,
that's pretty much it for me. I still need to play Wolfenstein and finish that up.
Oh, we promised.
I promised. But like things happened and other like life stuff got in the way.
Joke, should I assign you homework?
Is that my homework this time?
Can you by next recording of this? Can we do this? Can we have this?
No, yeah, we can get it done.
Okay, sounds good.
I can get it done.
You look like you're kind of uncomfortable there. Do we need to call this for the day? You think?
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely covered plenty of stuff at this point, and I'm just like, I can't think of anything else that I've been playing.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just said everything you want to about WoW.
Oh yeah, for the most part. I mean, I know WoW is a very singular thing, and a lot of people either haven't like experienced it or don't care to hear more about it. And
fair point.
And it's hard to do WoW justice in short form because WoW is very deep, and unless you know a lot about WoW already, it's kind of hard to grasp a lot of the concepts.
Are you saying it's like Monster Hunter?
It's kind of like Monster Hunter,
and like from the outside looking in, you're like, that seems kind of cool, or like Eve, or like there's all these.
It's a lot more dense than a lot of people realize.
And it makes me sad I don't get into more of those, but I also understand why, because you have this. There's so much depth here, and you know it's there. You just can't sacrifice the time to find, because you have to spend
the amount of time you need to like really explain a thing.
You need to spend 40 hours with this game before you even know if you're interested in it.
Really,
yeah.
And like with WoW, like you need to get max level really,
and here's
before you can understand what end game content is,
and like what good end game content is.
Yeah, what great end game content is.
See, and that's the thing is, I know if I activate my account again, all like the first 4, 5, maybe 10 hours will be like, oh right, yes, and I'll be enthralled trying to get back up to raid ready,
get back up to speed. Yeah,
and then after that, I don't know how long it'll carry me, but here's the thing is that say it takes 10 hours. That 10 hours, I will love every minute of it.
Absolutely, and. Now that you can pay for all your game time with in-game gold,
only if I come back and start making bags.
Oh, well, true, very true.
I would have to start making a lot of bags. I do not have enough gold to reactivate.
Plenty of people are doing it now. They pay for the whole thing with in-game gold.
I would get yelled at because I would probably try and undercut the market to try and get my money quicker.
Well, the server we're on is the economy is terrible.
I've been lectured at length for doing that. And it's not wrong. I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong.
Oh man, that was another thing about WoW that I've always really enjoyed is that economy aspect.
Yeah, the player economy.
Yeah, the player economy and how things shake out and
the
how weird it can get.
It was great getting when someone turned me on to the Undermine Journal.
Right. Yes.
So that it basically just scrapes servers and tells you what's selling for, where it's selling, how often this person is selling, and
just what prices you should be listing things.
Basically,
for,
it's like your medians and your means and your
man, that game's deep.
It's like I need an economics degree to be on this site. Holy crap!
We gotta stop talking about this stuff. This is gonna take me 12 hours to render. So
okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us for the Backcast. We'll have some videos going through the week, and if not a week's time, we should have another one of these up. So
I think Space Marine on Wednesday and
Overlord
on Friday.
So we're gonna keep going with those. Comment suggestions, just general thoughts. Throw them down in the comments. Let us know what's going on. And thank you everybody for joining us. And y'all have a good day.
Catch you guys later.
Bye.